right, that's the voice of Shirley Rhodes, Farmville Central Jaguar legend. And I'm looking at another Farmville Central Jaguar legend, Shirley. Terquavion Smith, Baby T, working out with the Pacers, sitting in a sweet leather Pacers chair with the Pacers shirt on his chest. And he's going to get drafted in the upcoming NBA draft. And pretty cool to see the kid from Farmville.
Yeah, not bad for
I'm
a
glad
kid
he
in
won't be
Farmville.
on NC State anymore, so I can root for him wherever he goes next.
Yeah, but I will tell you, he is one of the coolest dudes you'll ever be around. He when Farmville Central went to the state championship game most recently, Baby T was actually sitting on the bench. He wanted to be with the team, and so I wish him nothing but success. And this scrawny little skinny kid from Farmville is getting ready to be an NBA basketball player, and that's pretty cool.
Awesome stuff. Another guy looking to go to the next level in baseball is Josh Grosz, who might hear his name called in the upcoming Major League Baseball draft. He joins us here in the Pirate Radio studios. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Wish we were previewing ECU going to Omaha, but came up a little short, and we were talking about it coming back on the air. 2 great wins over Oklahoma and 2 really good games against Virginia as well. It was, for a baseball fan, some good watching. For a Pirate fan, a little disappointing. But, man, that was a fun Charlottesville regional for you guys.
Yeah, that atmosphere was pretty great. I mean, Pirate Nation was unbelievable, especially the first game versus Oklahoma. It felt like a home game. I mean, they had no fans, and it seemed like the stadium was all purple and gold. And in both the UVA games, it was just electric. And I think that's just a testament to our fan base and Pirate Nation. They do a hell of a job.
And we mentioned it yesterday, but the young Zach Root pitching in that moment against that team, and Josh, you can speak to, I don't know if the nerves ramp up when you're in that situation. You pitched against the Sooners, but Root as a freshman pitching against that top hitting team of Virginia just did a stellar job. Do you feel it up there? And what was Root feeling in his start on Sunday?
Yeah, I would say in my start, it was not pretty. Probably, it kind of blows to end on that note personally, because I felt like that was one of my, poorer starts this season, and I felt almost just more excited than anything. I felt like I let that excitement kind of get to me a little bit, and then you see that in the 3 walks in the first inning. But, I've been in that situation before at home last year, starting the regional opener and then starting game 2 of the Super last year, and for whatever reason, I just feel like I was too amped up for that game and kind of let that overcome my just my game plan. But Root did the exact opposite. He did a great job, and as a freshman, that's just the biggest stage. We're in an elimination game against the number 7 team in the nation, and he just looked dominant the whole game, and he's going to be pretty special here in the next few years.
So as much as you try to make it a normal, like a Wednesday afternoon game at Clark LeClaire in February, or a regional, you want it to be the same, but it's just not the same?
Yeah, and it's like you treat every game like, you try to treat it like like you're doing your job. But for whatever reason, I just feel like I put too much pressure on myself to make sure it wasn't the seniors' last game, and I feel like I just got away from the whole game plan of just executing my pitches and let the moment kind of take over.
Well, the Bats picked you up, and some other Pirate pitchers as well, as the Bats were hot against Oklahoma. And even that 2-1 game against Virginia, Mully, who was just here a moment ago, said it was a pitcher's duel, but a lot of solid contact, a lot of balls hit right at guys. Like, that score could have been a lot different than 2-1.
Yeah,
it was an exciting game.
My dad was talking to Ethan Anderson, the first baseman's dad, in the stands. And he's like, dude, this is the first game we played probably all season where the wind's blowing in. Yeah. And if the wind's not even blowing at all, that game's probably, it could be a double-digit game. I felt like we were hitting balls hard all night. They were squaring up balls, and great defensive plays. But if the wind's blowing out or if the wind's not blowing in, I think that game looks a lot different.
So how many games have you watched of the Super Regionals since the Pirates lost?
I actually watched a lot. I went home on Saturday and spent that pretty much whole day watching games.
Okay.
The only games I really didn't watch were the ones yesterday, but I watched probably 90% of those games.
We will get to your questions as well if you have one for Josh Grosz. So, Josh, what are you up to this summer? What are your plans as far as baseball goes?
This summer I'll be here pretty much the whole summer, just working out, continuing to just keep my arm moving, trying to get stronger and just progress throughout the summer, and obviously look forward to the draft and see what happens with that. But that's still kind of far away.
Josh Moylan said he's got a workout type thing with the Tigers coming up. Do you have any of those events planned, anything like that?
I don't. Josh actually just left for that like an hour ago, but I don't have any special workouts. The only thing I'm going to is there's this draft combine in Arizona at the Diamondbacks field, June 20 to the 25th, and I'm flying out there the 22nd, and I'll be there till the 25th. So,
nice.
That should be a good experience.
Jamie asking, what do you think you need to work on the most to continue your career? I don't know. You'll find that out when you talk to some of these scouts and what they have to say. But how about when you self-critique yourself?
Yeah, I would just say, kind of my struggle last year was just being consistent. And I think this year I did a way better job of being consistent. I mean, I was in the rotation every single weekend of the entire season, which I thought was pretty cool, and I hung my hat on knowing that I could lay my head down at night knowing that I did the best I could to stay in that role. But just figuring out whatever it is in my mind or in my preparation to be able to have the most consistent results, because if you want to be a good pitcher, you got to go out there and do your job every single time.
Have you received feedback on your draft stock right now, or the possibilities? Any word coming to you?
Not as much as like my draft stock. I mean, I think I'm in a good spot. I think that things are looking good for me. Obviously, I'm not a first round or second round or third round or probably fourth or fifth round guy, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what that involves, and kind of just taking that whenever that comes. But it's hard to look at. It's hard not to look ahead at it, but I don't want to speculate, because then you really have no idea what it looks like until the day comes.
Well, I asked Moylan this, and I'll ask you. So if the number is right and you are drafted and you're happy with it, you're going. You will take that step to play pro ball, correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's been a dream of mine since I was a kid, and if the stars align, then that's something that I really look forward to doing. And
if it's not right, are you open to returning to ECU?
Yeah, I mean, this place is my home. I mean, it's weird. I've never been at the same school for 3 years in my entire life.
Like, so, even growing up and everything?
Never, not one time.
Wow.
So this place feels more like home than anywhere I've ever been. And if I came back, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't feel mad at myself or disappointed. I'd be just as excited as I would be not coming back.
And Josh, you saw it down in Clearwater with Bryant Packard and some former players. I know in Charlottesville, Charlie Jorgen was there and some other. I think Pack was there as well. So you're always welcome back once your playing days are over or when you get a break. But it's just part of the Pirate family, the culture that's built here.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I didn't know Charlie Jorgen at all. I don't think I've ever actually talked to him, but talked to Packard for a little bit at USF, and. Yeah, I mean, those guys, they love coming back, and the guys that I played with that I talked to that are in pro ball, they talk about this place like it's their home too, and they love it, even when they're not here.
Shirley, I was texting with Zach Agnos last night because I saw that we posted that he picked up his league-leading 11th save, and Zach...
He got back-to-back saves, actually, 10th and 11th on Saturday and Sunday.
So earlier in the year, Pirate Radio posted some Pirate in the Pros updates and did not post Zach's first save, and
that was my fault.
He was mad about it.
Oh, that sounds pretty much accurate.
He's a bit of a diva and was upset, and I said, Zach, look at all this publicity you're getting. So he enjoyed that, and we kind of talked about how we missed talking to each other. And I said, the guys aren't quite as entertaining as you were last year. I said, Grosz is funny. And he said, yeah, Grosz has no filter. So he figured you would be a pretty good interview. But, man, we enjoyed talking to Zach last year. And Shirley, he's happy that he's finally getting some publicity from Pirate Radio.
Yeah, I messed up on that first one, and Zach called us out on it. And he actually texted you, I believe, and I told Clip, I said, Clip, just tell him that was my fault. It's on me. Since I blame him for my addiction to Candy Crush for the second time. Zach got me playing Candy Crush again. So
that was your payback, not giving him exposure. I like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Right.
I'll go with that.
A little revenge there. But now that could be you next year, Josh, in one of those minor league schedules, and we just got a ton of your former teammates and Pirates playing in that schedule right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see a lot of guys that I played with excel at the next level. It seems like everyone that's gone since I've been here has done great things at the next level, so it's cool to follow them.
Josh Grosz joining us. The draft coming up. We looked at the date yesterday. Let me look that up again. Do you know it off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's July 9th through the 11th, I'm pretty sure.
You are correct, sir. July 9th through the 11th. And Cliff Godwin was on yesterday and had some gripes about when scholarships have to go out at that 1st of July, and then you don't know if your players are coming back or not. So I don't know. It's an inexact science. They used to have the draft during the super regionals, I believe, because I remember when Evan Krasinski got drafted right before he started against Texas Tech. So I don't know. As a player that potentially is going to be drafted, do you have a preference on when the draft is?
I always thought it was really cool watching on TV as a kid, watching those guys in college that got drafted, and then they're playing in a playoff game, and it says like under their average or their statistics like so and so draft pick. I think that's kind of cool to be able to do that. But I don't know enough about the draft to know why they moved it, or like for better or for worse. So, but growing up, I thought it was pretty cool that you could see that when kids were still playing.
Yeah. And I don't know, just to get to this point, Josh, where you are now draft eligible, I mean, have you kind of, thought about it all? Like, this is, you've kind of been building to this point for a long time now, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about this for a long time, and it's kind of like when you're getting recruited out of high school, like you hear whispers of like you had the opportunity to play Division I baseball, and then you kind of push it off for like, yeah, that's like a pipe dream, and then it finally happens, and it's like this great celebration, and you really soak it in, and then that day is come and gone, and then it's time to focus on what's next. And so that's kind of how I feel like right now. It's kind of like it's a possibility, but no one has a crystal ball, so I don't want to be the guy that says, like I'm getting drafted, and then in a month I don't, and now I'm a liar, and I kind of like stupid. So you kind of just you kind of take that with a grain of salt, and you do everything you can to put yourself in a good position. But yeah, I mean it's definitely a fun thing to think about.
Jamie asking, where are you going to be during the draft? Going to be with friends, family, teammates?
I'll probably go back home. It's not that far. It's a 2.5 hour drive back to Virginia Beach. So I'll go back home, hang out with my family, and kind of wait around.
Do you have a lot of VA people checking you out in Charlottesville, friends and family there at the game? Anybody?
Not really. I mean, because I only went to high school in Virginia for 1 year, and it was COVID. So the only people that were in at UVA were not only the people that came were my grandparents, because they live in Northern Virginia, and then my girlfriend and my brother and his girlfriend and my parents.
That is weird that because now in college guys go to 2 or 3 different schools with the transfer portal and everything, and grew up going to the same school in middle school and high school. You took the opposite route of that.
Yeah,
that is pretty interesting. Josh Grosz joining us. You got a question for Josh? We got a few more minutes left to go here before he gets out of here. So as far as you mentioned that combine coming up, what are you doing day to day to kind of stay in shape, or are you resting? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I took a week off whenever the season was ended. So from Monday last week until yesterday, yesterday was the first day I had worked out and thrown since the season was over. So my plan is just to work out 4 days a week, and our strength coach has come up with a great plan for all the summer ball guys, but guys that are staying here. So we still have access to the weight room and the facility. So just work out, play catch, and stay in shape until the combine, and then after that until the draft.
So a lot of your ECU teammates are playing summer ball right now. Do you miss getting out there, miss being in the locker room and stuff like that, or you kind of glad to be chilling?
I miss summer ball. I think summer ball is the most fun you could ever have playing baseball. I had all my not all of them, a lot of my best memories playing baseball or summer ball last year in Newport, and before that in Bethesda, Maryland, where we sent a bunch of our guys. But summer ball is just such a great time to be with a bunch of different people, share your own stories with guys that have done similar things to you, and kind of develop what you need to do on your own and kind of figure out what makes you tick without being under such a microscope, And so I think guys come back from summer ball just completely different people in good ways, different players. They kind of get a good sense of how they tick and operate without, like I said, without having a bunch of attention on them. So it's a really good developmental piece, but it's also just a great time to like relax. There's not a whole lot of stress. You show up to the field, you play with 30 of your best friends, and then you go home and relax. So it's a good time.
I may have talked about it with you, or maybe it was another guy, but the host families and stuff like that. So where did you stay when you played summer ball?
So my first year, I stayed at a house I stayed with 4 other kids in a basement. The basement had like a pool table, a kitchen, a laundry. We had like a big couch, but we stayed in the basement with, and the people that owned the house were a married couple. Their kids were out of the house. They were in college. So, I think a lot of people become a host family because they just like having people in the house. Yeah. They love baseball. They like to have
empty nesters, I believe they call them.
Something like that. Or like my host family in Newport this last summer, they had 2 kids one was in high school and one was in middle school. And I just think that they like the fact that, there were 2 college kids in the house with their younger son, and kind of being like, I guess, like good influences on him, and have him kind of like look up to somebody like an older brother kind of thing. And
that's cool.
I think that's a big reason why, because a lot of host families have younger kids. And I think that's kind of a reason why. But it's great. I mean, you sometimes you get home cooked meals and you get a bed to sleep in, and it's a good feeling.
Do you get like a stipend from the team or anything, like as far as meals, or are you responsible for everything?
In Newport, they fed us after every game, no matter if on the road or at home. Like the concession stand would come up with something. But you can work camps, so like you can work the youth camps and get paid through that. There's like an option to do like laundry or field work to get money. So there's ways to get money. You don't have to do anything, but like, you're going to want some money in the summer. So
that's awesome. Josh Grosz joining us. Josh, your baseball career is going to go on for a while now, but after it's over, what are your plans? Do you have any yet, or you'll cross that bridge when you get there?
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no clue. I've thought about coaching. I thought about, like the military at times. I thought about, really, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I really have no idea. But I guess I'll cross that bridge when it comes.
You're multi-talented. I think you'll figure something out. Be all right. Jamie asking, when your team loses, do you root for that team to win it all, so you can say you lost to the champion? Do you have a rooting interest for Virginia, or since they knocked you out, do you not want to see them win? Like, what's your take on that?
Out of all the teams that are in, I would say that Virginia and Oral Roberts, I think, are 2 that I kind of want to see win. Okay. One, because Oral Roberts I kind of see like as, ECU, kind of like people see as the underdog and the mid-major, and that would be really cool for them. And they're really talented. And then for UVA, obviously, it's better to say you lost to the national champion than to say you lost to the first team out. So I guess that's one way to look at it. But like I said, I have a buddy on UVA, and we're pretty tight, so it'd be pretty cool to see him, win a championship. But yeah.
All right. Josh Grosz joining us. Josh, watching anything good on TV?
I just started watching this show called SWAT. It's pretty good on Netflix.
Okay. I think it was a network show.
It's all right. It's not amazing, but it's it keeps you entertained.
All right.
There is this one show though that it's called I Think You Should Leave. You ever heard of it?
Yeah. In fact, I enjoy kind of sketch, whatever you call it. That
show. It's like the stupidest show, but like it makes you laugh.
I can't believe I got on it so late. I started watching it recently.
Yeah,
and Tim Robinson.
I can't remember. I think we were flying to Cincinnati, and I asked our strength coach. I was like, D-Ray, what should I watch? And he said, there's this TV show, and I watched the first season and a half on the plane. But you're on the plane, so it's quiet. But I'm just sitting there my headphones on, just cracking up, and everyone's kind of staring at me while I'm laughing. But that show, it brings you to tears. It's so funny.
Very random. It's good. I meant to bring this up with Mully. I talked about it with Coach Mack earlier. I watched Air, the movie, about how Nike signed Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I want to see that.
It's good. It's kind of fascinating because you know what happens at the end, but they really drag you into it and make you feel emotional about it, and that's pretty good. I would recommend.
There's this one show that my roommate Carter Cunningham watches called Blackbird or the Black Box or something. It's on Apple TV. It's about like a prison show.
Yeah,
I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes, and it's in the middle of the season because I kind of walked in on him watching it, but. That show looks unbelievable.
I've seen a couple episodes of that as well. I'm bad about like watching a couple and then moving on to the next one and never finishing things. There's too many options.
I'm waiting for the season 6 of Yellowstone to get on Paramount or Peacock. They haven't added the 6th season yet on the stream.
Are you sure that hadn't happened recently?
They might have. I don't know.
I think it might have happened recently. Let's see. Yellowstone. Is it 5 or 6?
I thought it was 6. Maybe it is 5.
I'm pretty sure that they might have added those recently. You'll have to look into that. Season 5. Yeah. So this is the latest season, right? 2023. I think those are up. I think that happened recently.
That fires me up. That's good.
Yeah. So you can check those out. And one more thing I was going to... Oh, have you ever watched Black Mirror?
No.
On Netflix.
What is that?
It's really weird how technology's taken over the world.
My brother told me about this.
It's good though. They're not connecting, so you can dive in and watch any episode. But that comes out season 6 or whatever on Thursday. So looking forward to that. TV talk with Josh Grosz here in the Pirate Radio Studios.
I talk about the TV every time I come on here.
It's just something to like. We got a couple minutes left. I want to know what you're watching, what's going on. All right. Well, Josh, man, it's been fun getting to know you, talking to you. I love your sense of humor. You're the sandwich guy. Your car gets towed. You're edgy a little bit.
Yeah,
so, yeah. It's been fun to chat with you, man. We've enjoyed it, and we'll certainly keep in touch. But good luck to you. Hope you get your name called, and we see you in the pros. So.
Yeah, no, it's been a really fun year, and I've enjoyed every single time I've came on here. So thanks for having me every other week, and definitely got to keep in touch.
No doubt. Josh Grosz inside the Delcor Players Lounge here on Pirate Radio Live.